This is an example of a poster that you can make to fulfill your Criterion D summative on creating a poster to warn guardians and parents on the heat transfer in water parks. So to begin, you need to have a title for your poster. So draw a title. My title is Warning Hot Surfaces. Okay, you can choose any title, but make sure there's a title for your poster. So the first thing that is on that list for a successful poster is to create a model of a water park. So I'm creating a model. So my water park would have concrete and it will have water. Water. And it will have a water slide. And let's create this water slide with this color. Water slide. Right, and then the second thing that you're supposed to have for your poster is that you should label the materials. So I'm labeling the concrete. This is the concrete. This is the water. And this is the aluminum slide. Aluminum slide. All right. Next, I should write down the three different ways heat transfers. Right. So I should show on my poster where radiation, conduction, and convection shows. So first I need to draw the heat source, and our heat source is the sun. Okay, and I'm going to write the word sun here. Sun. Right? And to show radiation, I'm going to choose the concrete, and the concrete for radiation because the sun's energy flows to the concrete and warms it. Okay, and we know that radiation, sun's energy, flows through space. Sun's energy flows through space. Okay, and then I'm going to show conduction. I'm going to choose conduction where the metal is touching the water. So I'm going to write down right here is where conduction is happening. Conduction. Because heat transfers from two objects that are touching. So heat flows from the warmer aluminum to the cooler water. It warms the water. Okay, we know that conduction is two objects touching together. Conduction happens when two objects are touching together. Okay? Now, show that one up. There you go. Now I'm going to show convection. And I'm going to choose the air particles with convection. So if I'm showing air particles here, let's just choose this one. So if I have air particles here, air particles, and I'm going to show in red that the hot air particles rise, hot particles rise, and then the cooler particles sink, and it goes through a cycle. Cool particles sink. Okay, and that is convection. This whole thing would be convection, because convection is the heating of particles in a cycle of rising and sinking. Okay, so I've got the three different thermal energy. Next one is the explain why different materials heat up in different rates, and that's because they're made of different substances. All right, so I'm going to write that down. I have water, aluminum, and concrete, and they are made of different substances, so they heat up differently. So the word there is different. All right. We also need to write down heat flow, right? Heat flows from warm to cool, so we need to show that. So make sure somewhere here you write down heat flows from warm to cool. And you can see that with heat energy here all over. But the main problem that we're talking about is how children who are bare feet are getting hurt because their feet are getting burnt, right? So let's show the heat flow, the science behind that. So I'm going to draw myself a baby. There's the baby. She's got bare feet. Okay, and she's wearing a diaper. And I'm going to show that her feet are hurting, and we'll go, ouch. And why is her feet hurting? The science behind that is because the energy from hot concrete, which is being warmed by the sun, is now flows to the baby's cool skin. Okay? All right. Now you need to show the solution. What's the solution? I'll put it in bright colors, okay? So here's the solution. Solution. You could think of some solutions, but one thing that is easy for me to show is for the baby to wear shoes. So I'm going to show protect your feet from the heat, right? Wear shoes. Wear shoes. protect your feet from the heat. And it'll be easy for me to see it if you have a drawing of 2 feet. So if I draw 2 feet here, make sure I have 5 toes. And then I will draw sandals on the feet. Okay, there's my sandals. Oops. There's my sandals. Make sure it's got sling back. And there's my solution. Okay, last thing, for you to get a complete credit, make sure that you source your work, your information, and all of this information we have been learning from our textbook. So if you just put that your source is our TCI textbook, lessons 1 and 2. Okay, and that completes this summative. If it is not in color, that will be a 7. If it is in color, then that will be an 8.